Well, thank you, wire inserter pleater person. I thank you so much. You're going to get a whole little package of these sweet little things all tied up, ready for you to work your magic. Now, the first thing I do, whatever, I'm just annoying, but if you can tell that there's a top and a bottom, you're always going to pop that wire in there so that it settles into what is, you would think, to the best of your knowledge, the top. If you try and put it in there, I find it's very annoying. If you just put it through the little space and then just let it fall, it usually falls right down to the seam. It's kind of nice. Then what you're going to do is line it up over here, and notice with my thumb, I'm kind of hanging onto that wire for dear life. Sometimes it starts to bend in there, so when you go with the foot, if you can kind of press it over and let that foot kind of push down next to the wire, it really all of a sudden keeps that wire against the seam, and you can just run that foot all the way along and you're styling. Once you have that done, thank goodness, that's the worst part. The rest is easier-ish. So, I don't know why that's coming up now, but you can see that I stuck the wire in there. If you can feel that the wire is scooted all the way over to one side, you can just kind of push it up. Someone may want to help you out and maybe put a pin if you're nervous about the wire moving after you put it in, or maybe you'd have one person in your house do all the wires and pin it, and then you come by and do the sewing, whatever kind of assembly line you can set up. But again, here's my foot, and I actually, if you have the function on your sewing machine to scoot your needle over, that was kind of nice too. I did that with this one, where the needle is over to the right, and my foot is keeping that down. So awesome. Now you have wire in there, and now you're going to set your pleats going up towards the wire. So the wire is on the top, meaning the upper edge of the mask. And now you are going to take each of those creases that may or may not still be obvious from the last person who creased them. Please, this is not something that you should be taking out a ruler and making little marks, and it's just, it just needs to get bunched together. That's the only goal. We got to get it down pleated. Now, I did not have a single straight pin in this room, so I started using sewing needles instead, which is a little ridiculous. If you want, again, to have someone sit and fold it up, I don't care if the pleats don't match perfectly on each side. Oh my goodness. Let it go, let it go. You're just going to take those each one at a time, and you're just going to bring it up to the top so that where the wire is on the top of the mask is where the pleats are going in the direction of the wire, and then that big fat part on the bottom is the bottom of the thing. Now, I got to be honest, after I started doing these, I'll tell you what I did. On the left-hand side, I pinned them, and because it was annoying, I'll show you in a second. It was annoying without pinning them. So I had literally 3 pins in here that I just used over and over and over and over. And then on this side, what I did was I pleated as I went along. So I just kind of started and I grabbed that first little crease, and you'll see me pulling back and forth, just kind of going over it, because I do think that if you go back and forth over that, that will really hold it down. So on this side, I just kind of pleated it freehand. And then by rotating it, then I avoided having to pull it out and cut the thread and the whole thing. It kind of felt good to just move my way around. And then when you rotate here for the last time, if I had normal straight pins, I would have pulled them out as I went. But with the needles, I got away with just sewing over them. And at this point, you are done. And then, God bless America, we have a finished mask. I mean, it's like a miracle. So now we only have 599 more to go. So anyway, Again, you can always feel for the wire on the top. If you do one upside down with the pleats going the wrong direction, if you pull out a seam ripper, I'm just going to take your hand and slap it. Just leave it and let it be that it's upside down. No one will notice. Nobody cares. I don't know what I'm showing. Oh, sometimes the wire scoots over and you're humming along and then all of a sudden it's like, Koom! So you kind of want to feel to see if that wire is in there and scoot it on over if so that you don't go over over that. Again, the people already that I give, like, look at, there's Mrs. Fade, not even with a mask on. They have so few. It's just terrible. So I thank you. This lady was pregnant in the elevator with me, no mask on, and she looked at me like, seriously, are those masks? And I was like, please take one. I mean, they're just like candy. And I know all the patterns are ridiculous, but doctors are telling me that everyone, it just like lifts their spirits and makes them so happy. So I just thank you for being the final step in this whole thing. We're gonna get through it together. Thanks so much.